Hi, my name is Julia, and I'm here at the Boonshoft Museum of Discovery to teach you a little bit about why soil is in layers and why that's important. I've used my artistic ability to draw the different soil layers that you will see in Ohio. These soil layers are important because when we have a strong rain event like flooding or heavy thunderstorm, some of those nutrients in the soil that plants need to grow get washed away. When the water passes through these layers, they act like a filter and keep those nutrients in the soil. We have 4 major soil layers here in Ohio in our woodlands and grasslands. Our first one is called the organic or O layer. This is where we're going to find lots of leaves that fell during the autumn. We're also going to see the green and flowering parts of our plants. The next layer is the A layer. This is what we typically think of as soil or dirt. This is where you're going to find the root systems of our different plants and also some animals like our friendly little earthworms. The next layer is going to be the B layer. This is the filtration layer. In Ohio, it's going to be mostly sand or clay. Our last layer is going to be our source material or bedrock. In Dayton, we have a lot of limestone beneath our feet. For our activity today, we're going to recreate these soil layers in a cup and see how it works. To do this activity, you will need a couple materials. You will need a spoon, a push pin, a plate, a tall, clear plastic cup, and another cup or bowl to catch any of the water that flows through. For our tall, clear plastic cup, you can mark the outside with the different layers, or you can leave it blank. We're also going to use a push pin to poke 3 holes in the bottom. I've already done that, but what you do is push your push pin through, might take a little bit of force, and wiggle it back and forth to widen the hole. You're going to do that 3 times. The materials we're going to use to build our layers are going to be gravel or other small rocks you can find on your property, sand, this can be play sand or sand used for landscaping, soil, this can be garden soil or this can be soil that you have dug up yourself, and then leaf litter or mulch. We will also need a cup of water. To start, we're going to start by filling up the cup with the C layer. We're going to use the gravel to represent this. So I'm going to fill it up about 1 inch or up to the line that I have drawn. The next layer we're going to make is the B layer. This is our filtration layer. The sand may flow through the gravel, and that's okay. We're going to fill it up about another inch. This can get a little messy, so you'll want to keep your plate underneath as you fill it. The next layer we're going to add is the A layer. That is our soil or dirt. And we're going to again add another inch. The last layer we're going to add is the O layer, or the organic layer, and we're going to break apart some leaves. So tear it up so they will fit into your cup. If you have mulch, you can just lay it on top as well. Other things you can add, there is sphagnum moss that is used for plants as well. But just tear up those pieces so they create about a 1-inch layer. That looks good. The last thing you're going to do, you're going to add a spoonful of soil to your cup of water and stir it. Maybe a little more. This is going to represent what happens after it rains and washes away some of those nutrients. Okay, we now have our layers built and we have our rainwater here. I'm going to pick up my cup and let some of the excess sand kind of fall out the bottom. And I'm going to place it inside my clean cup or bowl. We're going to pour half the water that we've created here, the soily, dirty water, and let it flow through and see how long it takes to go through and what color the water is when it comes out the other end. Now that our filter cup is just about done, let's compare the water that went through the filter to the water that went into the filter. This cup had the water that went through the filter. You notice there's very little dark material floating in it. When we were looking at our filter layers, should have had the water go through very slowly, saturating each layer before it came out the bottom. This allows the layers to trap that dark particulate matter that's full of nutrients for plants. If you look at the material that went in to begin with, this is still a very dark, soupy mess. This is a better look at how well our layers got saturated from the O layer to the A layer to the B layer, all the way down to the C layer. Now let's see what happens when we mix up those layers. You're going to need your spoon, hold your cup very steady, and really get down all the way to the bottom and churn up those layers. Make sure you don't see any of the layers that existed before. Now, we're going to place the stirred up layers in their cup into another bowl, and we're going to pour that water through again and see what the difference is. Now that it's finished dripping, we're going to compare the water that went through our stirred up cup and the water that went into our stirred up cup. So if we look at the two cups, ignoring the sand that's in the cup that had water go through the system, notice there's a lot of dark matter in it. There's a lot of dark particles, and that represents our nutrients getting washed away from our soil. It's very similar to the water that went into that cup. And if you were able to look, there's still a lot of water inside our cup that has not gone away, has not been filtered through because there's no filter layers to do that. So not only do we have nutrients wash away from our soil, but we also have water that stays on top, which causes flooding. Similar issues during an era called the Great Dust Bowl. During that time, farmers kept tilling and rotating the soil and stirred up those soil layers. This didn't allow for nutrients to stay in those soils, and anything we tried growing in those soils ended up not doing very well. So a lot of the foods that we enjoy today were not able to grow. Thanks for joining me today. I hope you learned a little bit about how soil layers help hold on to those nutrients for our plants. If you did try this activity, please leave a comment below and let us know how it turned out for you. If you do like our activities, subscribe to our channel, and I hope to see you next time.